Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to the Print On Demand Playbook. I'm Rusty Pepper,
And I'm Maddy Alcala.
and together we're going to discuss and explore all facets of the evolving world of print on demand.
From the latest product trends to advances in digital printing equipment and emerging technologies, we're going to cover it all while speaking with some of the most influential leaders who are making it all happen.
But first, we thought it'd be a lot of fun to spend this first episode introducing ourselves by taking turns asking each other a few questions. That way, all of you can get to know us a little bit better.
Awesome. Well, it's hot seat time, Rusty. But I'll start you off with an easy one. Why don't you start by introducing yourself, your role, and a little bit of what you do in this industry?
Perfect. Well, I'm Rusty Pepper. I'm head of new markets and partnerships at Taylor On Demand. We're part of Taylor Corporation, which is a $2.5 billion back-end print fulfiller. We've got production facilities across the US, Mexico, Canada, and the UK. So we focus on resellers of personalized product. You think of any of the big .coms, big marketplace platforms in print on demand, pretty good chance that we're probably working with them. Even this wonderful company called Gooten. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but they're one of our partners as well.
Never heard of them, but sounds a little bit like Google. I bet they're pretty large and exciting.
Pretty
Well,
dynamic.
jokes
Yeah.
jokes aside, obviously I've heard of Gooten. That's an exciting role at Taylor and obviously know what you guys do. Very impressive business. How did you find yourself in that position?
I was running from the promotional products industry. I spent 20 years in that. I was with two of the larger distributors in that industry. And actually, I really loved that industry. It was a lot of fun, but I was looking for a change. And it was around COVID when I went to go join a startup that we had invested in. Obviously, we didn't realize that the industry was going to be completely shut down. It was actually analytics of all the whiskey. And like if you go to like a Costco and they're doing demos of alcohol beverages or food, those folks that are actually doing those demos, we actually were doing the back end analytics of that. We launched that in basically January of 2020. We funded it.
Oh,
And
good
then by
timing.
March, literally it shut down for 18 months. It was like, okay, what are we going to do? So then I joined Taylor shortly after that when I realized, okay, this industry is not going to be coming back anytime soon. So we didn't have enough funding to weather that storm, but joined Taylor, and it's been an amazing journey ever since, because since that time we've launched Taylor On Demand, and in 5 years we've done some incredible things. And that's really thanks to what Taylor has it from a foundation of a business, because they've been doing it for decades. But we were able to come in and put a cover over the way that Taylor approaches the on-demand market. And it's
Mm,
been a really exciting journey over those last 5 years and what we're seeing out there in the market.
yeah, seems like it. And you're kind of a happy accident for you professionally of
It
starting
really
something,
was.
not working out, pivoting, but it seems like you found yourself great.
Yeah, it was. It just keeps pulling you back in.
It does. I mean, this industry has a way of doing it. It's just
Yeah,
keeps sucking you back in.
exactly.
Well, on the positive side of that, because you've had obviously great success with Taylor and everything you've done over the past couple of years, what are you excited about for 2025?
For 2025, I'm really excited about seeing some of the new innovations that are happening out there. A lot of the technologies that
Mm,
you're seeing when it comes to advances in digital printing technologies and what they're doing. To me, that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm also really curious about how the evolution of the corporate market is going to influence our industry overall. We've all been focused so long, and what we're hearing about is that B2C side of the consumer side of the market. But
mm.
really, the way I keep seeing it and what we're hearing is that the enterprise, the corporate market space is going to really be the dominant factor of our industry that's really going to help transform it. Now, there's a lot of work that still has to get done, but to me, that's really what I'm excited about, to see what are some of the technologies and how are we going to be able to solve some of those core challenges of really managing enterprise print management spend.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about that from you as well, because the corporate market is not one that I'm super familiar with quite yet.
But
That's
it's one
awesome.
that we all need to be paying attention to because it is going to transform our industry. I truly believe that.
I believe you. Well, we'll have to do a whole episode, maybe even a season on that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, fantastic. Well, we've looked forward a little bit. Why don't we look back? I'll throw you another hot seat question. Tell me
Okay.
about one of your proudest accomplishments or best moments from 2024.
Gotcha. So I'm going to push this back into the personal side of my career, and that's my oldest son Maxim, who's about to turn 25. He actually got into the industry a few years ago. So being able to see him at various different industry events and have conversations with him is pretty exciting. Being able to watch your son, any parent with, if you've got kids, watch them grow, mature, and actually
Mhm.
start to do things independent of you is pretty exciting. But being in the same industry is unique because we can actually have conversations about challenges, or he can teach me certain things, I can teach him, and it's very collaborative. So as our conversations have really changed and evolved, from a
Yeah.
parent-child relationship. But that to me has been probably one of the more, I guess, proudest moments in my career, period. But it just happened to be last year, and we've spent a lot of time at various different industry events. So being able to travel with him as well for that is pretty cool.
That is very cool. Well, that's beautiful. And I've obviously met Maxim, but excited to spend some more time with him too
Yeah.
this year as well.
Yeah. He'll be at some
All
of the
right.
events we'll be at.
I'm sure he will be. He's gotta make his rounds as one of the newest entrants to the industry.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right, last question. So I'm gonna ask you, what is something about Rusty Pepper that most people maybe don't know, but you consider a professional asset?
Let's see. So I'm a Texan, right? To
Mm,
me, I think it's kind of cool. I married a French woman, so we're Tex French. We got 4 kids, and I think being able to really have that influence of being able to meet and talk to people from different parts of the world and being able to travel and meet all these wonderful folks has been probably pretty influential and really part of my career and helping shape that. Taught me a lot more patience, especially having 4 kids. Things just don't always just
yep.
happen real easily. You're always chasing them. Now, I don't know how people that have more than 4 kids do it, but for me, it's a handful. I think God gave me what I can handle, and that was
Yep.
4 beautiful kids that are awesome and test my patience. So to
Mm,
me, that's really helped and work, because I know when we're working, patience isn't always an easy thing to come by, and we need to be able to apply that whenever possible. And so to me,
yes.
being a parent of 4 kids has taught me much needed need for more patience.
Well, I'm going to learn patience from you as well, because that is also something I need to work on. But yeah, I mean, I think your point about the cross-cultural world piece obviously must make for a really fun family dynamic, but super important for our industry too, right? It's a global market, and that's becoming more and more true.
Tell you what, you just nailed it. We have the print on demand industry has truly become global. I mean, when
Yeah.
we think about all the folks that we work with both together, and we share a lot of the same partners and folks out there, they're and being on Zoom, right? We can literally
Yeah.
have a conversation in the morning with folks in Europe,
Hmm.
Australia. It doesn't matter where you are. The
Yeah.
technology has been the great equalizer where 5, 10 years ago, it wasn't as easy to do that. You actually had to be there. So now we can really be global. And with technology, you can route orders anywhere in the world and get it. And it really have the same controls and compliance, which is pretty unique and exciting. I think that's what's really
It
going to
is.
make the print on demand industry continue to grow. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think we're gonna have to do a few episodes on that topic in terms of exploring geographies and growth. I smell some episodes coming.
I think it's going to weave itself in naturally to everything that we're doing. And
Yes.
it's just part of it. So, and what's going to be pretty cool too is we're going to be able to actually see a lot of that, because as we're traveling this year at these different industry events,
Yeah.
we're going to be able to talk and see it firsthand. It's going to be pretty neat.
Very true. Very true. All right, Rusty, you survived the hot seat. Well done. Those are my last questions.
My butts are
Heat's
burning.
off. Very
So
cool.
now I guess it's my turn to turn the
Your
questions on
turn.
you, put you in the hot
It
seat.
is.
All right. You
I'm
ready?
nervous.
I'm
I
going to
don't know if
start
I'll
off
be,
with
I'll be ready, but
this.
you can go.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with the same question that you did, which is, hey, tell us a little bit about your current role, company, and how long you've been there.
Well, I'm the president of Gooten. This is my 8th year in the business. I've been in the president seat for about 4 years. And we do a little bit of everything for people who don't know about Gooten, but primarily focused on software that enables connectivity in on-demand production. So we work really within both the brands and merchant side of the world, as well as with producers. And our technology across the different solutions helps make it easier for brands to access high quality production, route orders, really manage their supply chain. And on the production side, we help producers, especially at scale, companies like Taylor, onboard customers more efficiently and really manage those B2B relationships. So I won't go into a full product pitch, but it's a little bit of what we do. And I'm fortunate enough to spend most of my time working with our partners really on both sides of the equation, but more merchant and brand facing.
You've got a great roster of clients, which is pretty exciting. And you also
Well,
make for
thank
a
you.
good partnership. So, where did you grow up, and how did that environment shape both you and your entrepreneurial journey?
Deep question. That's a good one, Rusty. So I grew up in Colorado for the most part, actually on the side of a mountain. We lived at about 9,000 feet elevation, no neighbors. I used to ski down my driveway with my brother. So, true story. It's actually a pretty rural environment to grow up in. My dad traveled a lot for work. So his career was professionally in setting up supply chains for startups. So that's helped me quite a bit in terms of getting interested in smaller companies. Spent a lot of time in Asia and Mexico and South America growing up. How it shaped me was help definitely curated some of that professional interest of wanting to go into supply chain worlds, smaller businesses, technology. But I think growing up on the side of the mountain made me pretty independent. And so pretty comfortable kind of doing things on myself. I obviously love working with a team, but I think that's an important skill. I'm sure you have this too, just especially working with customers and partners, you've got to be able to go out and talk to anybody.
Absolutely. Also probably made you pretty tough too.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially to the winters. I'm
Yeah.
a Colorado girl through and through, so cold does not bother me.
And you're still there, correct?
I'm still there, though we've gotten off the side of the mountain. The roads got a little bit scary, but we're down in Boulder, Colorado now.
Nice. Okay. So what sparked your interest in print on demand? Obviously getting into the industry, and what aspect excites you most as we enter 2025?
Yes. Well, if you had asked me growing up if I wanted to be in print on demand, I don't think I would have said yes. I don't think I knew what it was. I actually, like you, Rusty, fell into this industry kind of in a happy accident. Prior to Gooten, I was actually in financial services. I worked at BlackRock. I did M&A and corporate development, corporate strategy. So the opposite of a 20-person print on demand technology focused startup, largest asset manager in the world. So I made a full 180 pivot and really ended up at Gooten by an accident because I wanted to make a career change. So that's how I got into print on demand. But the reason I've stayed is I actually really believe in what we're doing in the industry. I think we help brands minimize their inventory risk, be a lot more nimble, responding to customer trends, tap into the power of personalization, give products and designs and content to consumers that they really want. And I think that's powerful, not just from an environmental perspective, because you make what people buy. You're not pre-producing something and having it get wasted, but it's also fun and cool. And I like working in a business where you can actually touch the product. So, we're going to go to a couple conferences soon, you and I, and we'll see a bunch of t-shirts and cool stuff. And I like the tangible aspect of that. Something's actually getting made.
It is a fun part of the industry, is all the different products and the cool products that you can see out there. I like to see the innovation too. But
Yeah,
taking a simple frame and then trying to make it where it collapses down into a simple box. Those type of things you just don't see in a lot of
right.
other industries. So there is something tangible about that.
Yes, I think this industry sucks you in. You've been in it for a little bit, you're interested, and then you start learning more and more. There's amazing people, really cool innovation. So I think it's a fun place to be.
I felt that way about promotional products where I ran from that industry, and then all of a sudden the print on demand world has now swallowed up promotion. It just keeps chasing you and bringing you back in. So I totally
Yeah,
appreciate that.
never gonna escape.
Yeah. All right. I got a few more questions for you. This one is going to be, what is a surprising fact about you that most people want to know? And how does that influence your business approach?
Uh, it's a tough one. I'll go back into history a little bit. So I was a little bit of a nerd in high school, and I was the captain of the speech and debate team. So I spent a lot of weekends at speech and debate tournaments, traveling around, going to debate tournaments. And I think that's helped me professionally because I am not afraid of conflict and a heated discussion. So I actually really like it. And that's something that we encourage at Gooten is just that I think we've violent agreement, spirited debate. So sharp exchanging of ideas in a respectful, professional way.
Yeah. I look forward to debating you on many different conversations as we go through this journey together.
There we go. That'll make for some good podcast episodes. We can really get into it.
I have a feel we probably see the world very similar though. So hopefully we'll be able to find some different perspectives with that as well. But and outside of print on demand, what are your passions and what does a typical weekend look like for you?
Let's see. Hobbies wise, I love to ski. So shouldn't be surprised. Crib skiing down my driveway. Now I do it a little bit more professionally. Head up to Vail for the weekend. But really my passion right now is my son. So I have a 2-year-old and he is just so much fun. So taking him to museums, doing different stuff, go to the park. He's my passion at the moment.
So you got on skis yet?
No, he's a pretty brave, bold little kid though. So we'll see how he's doing in March after his second birthday. But I think next season will be his time to shine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still probably pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah. Close to the ground, shorter distance to fall. It's the right time to
That's
learn.
true. That is
Yeah.
absolutely true. You see those little guys just flying down the mountain. So
Exactly. Little bombers.
that's cool. Well, I'm glad we got a chance to share a little bit more about our backgrounds and pasts. And before we wrap up, what can our listeners expect from our collaboration this year?
Yeah, well, I think we're going to start by looking at the industry, where we're going, where we've been. You and I will look into the crystal ball a bit and talk about some predictions and trends for the year. And then, fortunately, we've got some pretty cool events to cover coming up. So I know we'll be at the Impression Show in Long Beach. We'll talk a lot about apparel. I was just reading an article this morning about the new advancements in DTF. So I think we'll do some pretty cool interviews there around some new technologies. And then we will be in Latvia for Tech Chill. So we'll talk with some of the largest print on demand companies that are headquartered there. We've got D-Scoop coming up. So we've got some pretty good industry and event coverage. So for people who can't make it to those shows, we'll try to give you our best recaps. And then we'll get some pretty exciting guests along from different C-suite executives at various companies in our industry, all the way down to salespeople, partnership people, operations people, a bunch of different perspectives. So should be a good mix across all of the different product and production types and really everything that's going on in print on demand.
Love it. Yeah, I think from the overall industry, we were going to be able to uncover so many different topics that no stone go unturned. And that's why I'm excited to have you part of this with me, Maddy, because you're going to bring a totally fresh perspective, a different balance, and way smarter. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. And to our listeners, we're going to be back in 2 weeks with our look back on 2024 and what our predictions are going to be for 2025. So make sure to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, got to dial in for the crystal ball. We'll try to predict some trends for 2025, give you some data. We'll do a little bit, of course, Maddy and Rusty's opinions, but I think we're going to gather from our reputable, trusty sources as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opinions out there that we're going to be able to pull from.
One of the things I love about this industry, everybody's got something to say.
And they're all pretty collaborative. So it's a great industry.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is.
I appreciate you joining me on this journey. And I guess for everyone, stay tuned for our next episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah, there we go. Happy New Year, and we're excited.
Cheers.